Evening had settled over the small town as John, Sarah, and Mike gathered at their usual weekly spot in a local cafe. The cafe was buzzing with chatter and laughter, but their conversation was different this evening. "Have you heard about the old house on the outskirts of town?" John asked, eyes gleaming with excitement as he looked at Sarah and Mike. "You mean the haunted house?" Sarah replied, trying to mask her anxiety. "Yes, that's the one. They say it's filled with secrets and ghosts." "Why don't we go check it out?" John suggested with an adventurous grin. Mike, always the cautious one, tried to steer away from the idea. "Are you crazy? That place is dangerous. Everyone says it's really haunted." Despite her apprehension, Sarah couldn't resist her curiosity. "Let's do it. At least we'll have an exciting story to tell." After a few minutes of debate, they all agreed on the adventure. Their plan was simple. They would head to the haunted house the following weekend and explore it. On Friday, the trio gathered in the car, heading towards the outskirts of town. The sky was overcast, hinting at an impending storm. The road was rough and filled with potholes, making the journey more thrilling. When they arrived, the sun was beginning to set, casting an eerie glow over the house. It was large and abandoned, surrounded by thick trees and tall grass. The windows were broken and the doors were decayed. "Are we really ready to go into this place?" Mike asked, his eyes scanning the ominous surroundings. "We're here now, no turning back," John said firmly. They cautiously pushed open the front door and found themselves in a large, dark foyer. The air was cold and filled with dust. They began exploring the house, room by room. The furniture was dilapidated, and the walls were covered in mold. "Look at this room," Sarah exclaimed, opening the door to an old study filled with books and papers. "It looks like this used to be a library," John said, inspecting the old books. As they examined the place, they heard footsteps approaching from the upper floor. They froze in place, their hearts pounding. "Did you hear that?" Mike whispered, his voice trembling. "Yes, it seems we're not alone," Sarah replied, trying to keep her fear in check. They cautiously made their way upstairs, step by step. When they reached the upper hallway, they saw a shadow moving quickly across the room. "Who's there?" John shouted loudly. There was no response, but the shadow continued to move. They followed it into a closed room and slowly opened the door to find themselves in an old bedroom. "Do you think this place is really haunted?" Mike asked, looking around nervously. "Maybe. We need to be careful," Sarah said as she shone her flashlight around. As they examined the room, they heard whispers coming from the closet. They approached it cautiously and opened the door to find an old, handwritten letter. "You are in danger. Leave this place immediately." John read the letter aloud, his voice shaking. "What is going on here?" Mike asked, fear creeping into his heart. "We need to find out more, but we have to be careful," Sarah said firmly. The next day, the friends returned to the local library to investigate the house's history. They spent hours among old books and documents until they found an old article about a mysterious murder that had taken place in the house. "Here, this is what we're looking for," Sarah said, raising the article. In 1925, a woman named Elizabeth was murdered in this house, and her death remains unsolved to this day. John read aloud. "It seems her spirit is still seeking justice," Mike said, feeling a chill run down his spine. After gathering information, they decided to return to the haunted house to try and communicate with Elizabeth's spirit. They knew this step was dangerous, but they felt compelled to help her. When they arrived, the wind was howling, and the atmosphere grew darker. They entered the house again, heading towards the basement where the spirit had first appeared. In the basement, they began calling out to Elizabeth's spirit. Suddenly, the ghost appeared before them again, looking more sorrowful and pained. "Why have you come back?" the spirit asked in a faint voice. "We're here to help you. We want to know how we can help you find peace," John said. "Find my necklace. It is the key to my peace." The spirit said before fading away slowly. The friends began searching for the necklace throughout the house. They were anxious, but determined to find it. After hours of searching, they found an old box buried in the backyard. "I think we've found it," Sarah exclaimed as she carefully opened the box. Inside the box was an old necklace with a strange symbol. They knew this was the necklace Elizabeth's spirit was searching for. They returned to the basement and presented the necklace to the spirit. The woman began to cry, thanking them sincerely before slowly fading away and disappearing. The friends felt a great relief knowing they had helped a lost spirit find peace. "We did it. We helped her," John said, feeling proud. "Yes, but I don't think I want to come back here again," Mike said with a nervous smile. After their harrowing experience, the friends left the house, vowing never to return. Life returned to normal, but that adventure remained etched in their memories forever, as a testament to a unique and supernatural encounter. Months passed since their adventure in the haunted house, but something continued to trouble them. John received a mysterious letter in the mail, written in an unfamiliar hand. "The house still hides secrets. Return to uncover the truth." The friends gathered again to discuss the letter. The idea was frightening, but curiosity and the desire to know more drove them to return. "We need to know the whole truth. Maybe there are other spirits that need our help," Sarah said with enthusiasm. They headed back to the haunted house. This time they were better prepared, carrying equipment for lighting and recording sound. They entered the house feeling a mix of fear and excitement. They began exploring the house again, but this time the atmosphere was heavier. They started hearing new sounds and seeing shadows moving around. They found an old book hidden in a secret room containing Elizabeth's diaries. "It seems Elizabeth wasn't the only one murdered here," John read aloud, his voice shaking. They discovered that other spirits were trapped in the house, all searching for release. Elizabeth had been a victim of a mass murder, and each spirit carried a painful story of their death. They decided to delve deeper into these stories, believing that helping these spirits would help them understand what was truly happening in this cursed house. Among the diary pages, they found mention of two young children, Tommy and Anna, who had lived in the house decades ago. It was said they disappeared under mysterious circumstances, and their bodies were never found. As they read, they heard the sound of children's laughter echoing through the house. "Do you hear that?" Sarah said, her voice trembling. "Yes, it sounds like children laughing," Mike replied, feeling a chill run down his spine. They followed the sound to an old playroom upstairs, where they found toys scattered across the floor. Suddenly, ghostly images of two children appeared before them, smiling. "Are you here to help us?" the little ghost, Tommy, asked. "Yes, we're here to help. What happened to you?" John asked gently. "They took us away. You need to find our lost toys," Anna said in a faint voice. The friends began searching for the lost toys throughout the house. They were anxious but determined. After hours of searching, they found an old doll under the bed and a wooden train in the closet. Each time they found a toy, the little spirits seemed more at peace. "Thank you. Now we can play peacefully," Anna said with a smile before she and Tommy slowly disappeared. After helping the children, the friends felt there was something bigger awaiting them. They continued reading the diaries and discovered that Elizabeth had been trying to uncover a deep secret involving the house's first owner, Mr. Williamson. The man was known for his cruelty and was suspected of being behind numerous deaths in the area. "We need to find evidence of Mr. Williamson's crimes," Sarah said determinedly. The friends began exploring the basement again, where they found a hidden room behind a crumbling wall. Inside the room, There were old torture devices and a box filled with documents detailing Mr. Williamson's atrocities. "Oh my God, this man was a monster," Mike said, reading the documents in shock. As they examined the room, they felt a strong presence surrounding them. Mr. Williamson's ghost appeared before them, his eyes glowing with rage. "You're not leaving here alive." Mr. Williamson's ghost thundered, his voice filled with menace. The friends were paralyzed with fear, but John summoned his courage and said, "We're here to end your suffering and that of all the souls you tormented. We will free you." Sarah found an old book containing rituals that could free the tormented souls. She began reciting the ancient texts while John and Mike tried to keep Mr. Williamson's ghost at bay. "In the name of the tormented spirits, we release you from this suffering," Sarah shouted with all her might. The room began to shake violently, and the lights flickered wildly. Suddenly, Mr. Williamson's ghost vanished, and the friends felt a calmness settle over the house. They knew the spirits were finally free. "We did it. We set them free," John said, feeling a deep sense of relief. "Yes, but I don't think I'll ever come back here again," Mike said with a nervous smile. After that harrowing night, the friends left the house and headed home. The experience had changed them forever, but they felt a sense of pride for helping the tormented souls find peace. Years passed, and whenever they met, they would recall that night with vivid clarity. Their adventure in the haunted house had been a unique and supernatural encounter, a testament to the strength of friendship and courage. With the spirits freed and peace restored, the friends' adventure in the haunted house came to a close. It was an experience filled with terror and challenges, but it proved to them that they could face anything as long as they stood together.